Good morning and welcome to Cheche, the program where opinion counts, live on Citizen TV and Hot 96 FM. I'm your host, Uduak Amimo. Now, if there's anyone who's paid a huge personal price for the multi-party politics Kenyans now enjoy, it's today's guest. He suffered torture and endured years in detention and exile. He was the MP for Subukia and at one point the Assistant Minister for Information. He's now the chairman of the Chama cha Mwananchi, one of the parties in the Hoja Alliance that supports Raphael Tuju's presidential bid. Well, also with me in the studio are Cheche resident panelist Mutegi Njau of Citizen TV and political analyst David Makali. Mr. Wawere, thank you very much for joining us here on Cheche. Let's focus on you first because it seems that you've been out of the limelight for a while. What do you want out of the upcoming elections?
Well, first of all, let me say that I haven't been missing in action, as your statement might imply. But also, I wanted to make a small correction about the Hoja Alliance supporting the Tuju for presidency. We have not arrived at that decision at the Hoja Alliance. Okay. The main purpose of Hoja Alliance up to now is that we want to bring parties that happen to share a common ideology together to champion the interests of issues rather than politics of personalities.
And
so I just wanted to put that right.
What do you share in common then?
No, first of all, we share in common the belief that politics should be about issues primarily, not about personalities.
But all parties that way.
No, not all parties. Not all parties. We have seen them. We see their rallies, what they talk about. They talk about the interests of the leaders. They don't talk about needs of the people. And our quest for, putting issues in front of personalities is new. It's not what every party does, Jao. You know that.
Yeah.
Why are you laughing,
well,
David? Why?
They all talk the same.
No, Koigi.
Yeah. What do you mean it's all the same?
No, I mean, look, we just got these parties registered last, May, when parties were asked to comply with the new requirements under the new constitution. You form yourselves, you get a certificate. Then all of a sudden, you want to join, you come together.
No, we have been there. There you go wrong, man, Mr. Makali.
Wait, let me finish.
We are not 6 months old. We have been there for a long time.
Yes, let me
party
finish.
Is more than 6 years old.
I know, Koigi, you've been there. That is your party. You've had it for a while. But what I'm saying is that this party has just complied with the new regulations for registration under the new constitution, under the new Political Parties Act, not so long ago. Why should parties after that, if indeed the party was not strong enough to run on its own, why didn't it dissolve? Or why didn't you join one party? This thing of people forming parties, then within a short time they're leaguing, congregating
what
together
you are saying,
under special common interests.
It's like telling individuals, unless they can do everything for themselves, they should opt to die rather than choose to come together with other people. Because it is in the company of other people that you become more effective. I think that is a natural rule. I'm surprised that you don't understand this.
Let me first finish my argument. My argument is this. We're having a multiplicity of parties in this country. Parties which are, some of them are hopeless because they don't have sufficient ground support. People form parties, they own them, such as Koigi, such as Tuju, and the other people who are coming together in Hoja. And then they go together to form again a bigger association.
Precisely.
So the question is, why can't you just join one party since you are all like-minded?
No, because we do not know whether we share common ideology or even vision before the parties are formed. It is only after expressing our individual visions that we find out that, in fact, we do share a vision, we do share a mission, we do share ideology. So why not come together? But again, to go back to the point I was trying to make, for you to argue that you are either an individual or go to hell because there is no point in coming together with other people, it's a very strange argument.
No.
I mean, this has been the basis of human society. It has been the basis, it's the purpose of politics. Politics is about bringing people together, not about fighting lone battles, simply because you want to prove a point that you can exist on your own.
The argument would be put that, Koigi, you are the kind of people who want to belong to other parties. You must have your own party to go and look for another party to work together.
No.
Because you can't belong in a party as a member.
The reason why we formed our party, Chama cha Mwananchi, as you can get from the name of the party, was because, we wanted a party that could champion the interests of the people. The ones that were not there did not do that. And I don't need to tell you what parties these are. You know, KANU didn't do that. NAC didn't do that. You know, ODM didn't do that.
Has Chama cha Mwananchi fulfilled the requirements of...
Absolutely, a long time ago. That's why we are registered.
Okay.
Mutegi.
With real people, with real officers.
What do you mean, real people? Because there are no people who are not real.
Some of them are...
The people who are not real are dead.
No.
How do we get
There are some parties...
No, Mutegi is referring to parties which have fraudulent
membership.
Yeah,
with no offices.
I don't know about those parties. I only know about Chama cha Mwananchi.
Is your party in Garissa?
Yeah, of course we are everywhere in this country.
It has an office and offices?
Yeah. We don't need offices in every county. We need offices in 24 counties. And we have offices in 26 counties. Okay. And we have a name of opening offices in every corner of this country. That is our objective.
I'll take you back to what you said about the fact that you've not agreed.
Chama cha Mwananchi having ghost members?
Right. I'll take you back to what you said about no agreement on Raphael Tuju's presidential candidate. Is that to say that the Hoja Alliance will have some sort of nomination process through which they will come up with a single presidential candidate?
No, what I meant to say is that we haven't actually come to the point of discussing who of the several presidential candidates that we have. Up to now, what we agreed upon is that because we share a vision, because we share ideologies, there is a great need for us to work together rather than separately.
Okay,
when the right time comes, we are going to decide whether we will support Tuju or anyone else that we consider suitable for.
You yourself are not a candidate?
Of course you know that, Mutegi Njau. If I was, you would long have heard about it.
Okay. But what we understand is that you're going for the senatorial seat.
I am good material for that, I could begin to think seriously.
What are you going for? Of course, you tried to run last elections, Koigi, and the results were not impressive.
No, because obviously I had misled Kenyan people that in elections such as for presidency, what they consider most important is not anybody's ideology or anybody's ideas, but whether you have money and what community you come from.
But has it changed now?
It has not changed. Maybe that's why I have not offered myself for presidency
Okay, but
yet.
You are offering yourself for the senatorial seat. What are you offering Nakuru?
Why do you wonder? Of course.
Yes, but what are you offering the people of Nakuru?
The people in Nakuru
No, I have a lot to offer. I think I'm the most experienced politician that is active.
The catchword these days is not experience, is youth. And you don't seem to be very young.
No. I think that is, I like taking things seriously. And I think that what the people of Nakuru County need is an experienced politician who can go to the Senate and fight for their interest. Someone with an experience in making laws, because the Senate will actually be making laws that will be for purposes of safeguarding the interests of counties. You need somebody who is fair-minded, because the Senate will be impeaching presidents. I hope not too often. And we also need someone with integrity, because apart from fighting for Nakuru's share of the 15% of devolved funds, the senator will also be required to play an oversight role on devolved funds, and of course any other funds that will come from the national government, to ensure that the governor and his assembly and his government do not misuse those funds. And I think that given my experience, I will be able to play that role very well.
But if you were voted out of parliament, as in your constituency rejected you, why do you think they would vote you back in any shape or form?
For the same reason that we follow Jesus, despite the fact that we had him crucified.
Okay.
No, you are not Jesus, Koigi.
The principle of support is what he's employing.
Yeah.
But Koigi, what is a hold?
I'm saying that people have been wrong. People are wrong in voting me out, and people will be wrong tomorrow in choosing their leaders. That doesn't mean that you give them up. You continue to tell them where they are wrong and hope that as soon as they are clear-sighted, they will be able to put the right people into leadership. In this country, actually, you find that a majority of the leaders elected are elected for the wrong reasons, and they therefore have not been able to provide the leadership that people have wanted from them.
Let's go back to some history. I don't know whether this account is correct. Maybe you can correct me. When you came from Norway, as you used to live there, and you became a member of parliament, there were reports that you continued getting some allowances from that country, despite the fact that you are a member of parliament in this country. I don't know whether that is correct and whether that fits well with Chapter 6.
I don't know whether this is something we need to talk here because it's a matter that is in court, but I don't mind.
Which court? Not in Kenya court?
No, it is in Kenyan courts.
Okay.
I am disputing that your very statement that I was actually getting funds fraudulently. The fact is that I was entitled. I had an accident when I lived in Norway. And because where I broke my 2 ribs and the breastbone was also fractured, and for that reason, I was given some social support. The papers here reported wrongly that I had classified myself as an invalid, which wasn't the case. And I was to get that money for a number of years, actually over 35 years. That was stipulated in the letter that allocated that insurance support to me. So when I came back to Kenya and got elected, I was actually planning to inform the Norwegian tax authorities that I was now receiving an income and therefore may not have needed that money anymore. Although in fact the money was not given on condition that as soon as I got an extra income, then I would not be able to continue getting it. In any case, I terminated getting that money because I felt that it was creating wrong impressions and all that.
Would you have done that without the press report?
In fact, I did it long before. I did it in January, and the media was writing about it in May. Well, even after I had told the media, told them that this matter that you are writing about has been long settled. But because they wanted to malign my name, give me, especially then because I was associated with the NAC, anything was fair. The purpose of the media was really to give me as bad a name as they could.
Okay.
Derito in Nakuru challenges your record. He says Koigi is a good crusader for democracy, but has nothing else to offer, and that's why we kicked him out. So how do you...
If Derito comes from Subukia constituency, he would know that indeed the CDF Subukia constituency was one of the best run CDFs. In fact, we were one of the CDFs that Parliament would refer failing CDFs to go to and see how to use that money as it should be used. So in fact, to call such a performance non-performance is actually...
Well, I guess he's looking beyond CDF management to
what
mobilizing the community and your constituency for development initiatives.
I did more. If I used my CDF, I used the CDF money well. I did more than the average politician. In fact, I remember taking relief food to almost every village in Subukia. I remember organizing medical support to every corner of Subukia constituency. I even founded Ujima Subukia Scholarship Fund that has so far educated 117 students through high school.
All right.
Many of them even going through university.
Okay.
Makali, you haven't done this.
Okay, I have not represented my constituency. I am going there.
He's a journalist.
I am going there shortly, Koigi.
You don't need to be a politician to engage
you have
in
demands
charity
on you
work.
because you are holding office on behalf of your
No,
constituency. That's why they're demanding this of you.
A lot of what I did actually had nothing to do with the office. It had everything to do with a big heart.
Well, that
somebody with a commitment. For instance, Makali, how many people in this country can talk about, and I don't want to boast about this, but I keep on telling Kenyans, even if I had nothing else to go for except my contribution against one-party dictatorship in this country, would I not qualify to go to heaven?
Listen, Koigi.
Leave alone parliament.
Koigi, now, in
People
fact,
need bread.
Jao, were you Saint Peter? Would you not open the gate of heaven for me?
David has been trying to ask a
People
question.
need to eat.
David, your question.
Yes.
let's assume, Koigi, in fact, that what you mentioned is where you have distinction in your crusade for reform, in fighting the one-party dictatorship and so on.
Yes, yes.
But in this country, there's clear frustration with your crop of, wait, let me finish. The crop of freedom fighters, second liberation heroes, the young Turks, and all these people who stood for reform. There is a clear frustration that when they came into office, nothing in fact changed. In fact, they've turned worse than the previous eaters. And now there is a frustration with these people we thought were reformists are in fact not reformists. When they took over government, and this NAC administration comprised largely, NAC and now the Kibaki administration, let's say, generally, both first and second, has had the reformers in it. But people are still saying,
David,
where's
we'll
the change?
have to pause on that thought because we've got to give it some attention. We have to go on a break and come back on that because, of course, there were several issues in that comment. You're watching Cheche live on Citizen TV and Hot 96 FM. Today's guest is former MP and former political prisoner Koigi Wawere. When we come back, we discuss his personal sacrifice for a multi-party, equitable Kenya.